let's talk about the name game. And we're going to be talking about the name Jesus Christ. And of course, many people seem to be really confused about this. I mean, really confused. If you look at some of the comments, we've got people that are supposed to be believers in the Son of God, you know, firm faith, but yet when they leave, when they're talking about Jesus, they got Jesus slash Yeshua slash Yahweh. I mean, it just seems like even if they do put Yeshua, they got to put Jesus in parentheses or something, just so you know who they're talking about. You don't see where that sounds a little strange? That you still have to add Jesus in so you make sure that everybody knows what you're talking about? You see, the Bible says something right here in front of us that it seems that I guess many people have failed to view because are you maybe under the influence of everybody else's opinion? You know, you see people out there on YouTube and they got Christian videos and they're talking about the Bible and they're telling you got to call him Yeshua because there's no J's and there's no this and there's no that and all this different stuff and this is named this, and if you don't say it, it's an utterance, you're going to go to hell, or you're going to be wrong, or your prayers won't get answered. Oh, that's so wrong. Who are they? Who are they, God or something? No, they're not God at all. So let's look at what it says right here. It says, this is going to be chapter 9, Revelation, verse 12. His eyes were a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. Very interesting. So that means all of these written names, everything from Yeshua to Yahweh, even to Jesus, guess what? Not his name. Is that surprising, considering that, guess what? He comes from the spirit abode, and I don't think there's an English alphabet up there. Did y'all ever think about that? Did you ever actually think about that Jesus Christ really wasn't actually born on earth? That he actually is eternal, that he's the Alpha and the Omega? And that if you're born on earth, guess what? Earth doesn't have a heavenly alphabet because the heavenly language is not written with a pen or a pencil? So that would mean that there is no possible earthly name that you could give Jesus Christ that would adequately define it. Because Jesus Christ is infinite. The letter is limited. Furthermore, did you know that the Hebrew alphabet, 22-letter alphabet, well, it just so happens to match DNA. We'll talk about that later. But did you know that the Hebrew 22-letter alphabet was made by casting shadows? Interesting when it says that the letter killeth, and then we're in the valley of the shadow of death. So if this letter is the shadow, it's going to fade away. Well, Jesus Christ will never fade away. So if you apply him to a letter that will fade away, eventually that letter will go. Jesus will stay. So there is no adequate name on the face of the earth written within any language of men that can define the infinite. Think again. So now we see why it's acceptable once you understand who Jesus is and what he did for you is more important than the name men call him. Do you not hear the Spirit of truth? I think you do, friends. I think you do. He has a name written in which no man knows but he himself. So at this point, let's think about something else. If Jesus Christ is the Spirit, and he's the Spirit fruit of that Spirit, and that Spirit fruit is always giving, that Spirit basket will never run empty. So think about this. Let's put it in terms of a piece of fruit. We've got an orange. That orange represents sustenance. It represents life. It represents spirit fruit. We have a man in Russia. We have a man in China. We have a man in Africa. All three men call that same orange 3 different names. But when they take a bite out of it, does that orange deny them its sustenance because all 3 of those men call it something different? No. That orange will deliver the sustenance of the life-giving fruit regardless of what name they call it. Do you think Jesus Christ is more wise than a piece of fruit? Think about it.